Can you dispute student loans that were supposed to be deferred or in forbearance? And if it's not disputed, will that stop someone from getting a mortgage loan or a car loan?
So if there's a late payment reported on there when you go for anything, and like there's a notice of dispute marked on there, that notice of dispute has to be removed in order to like to even qualify for a mortgage. But a lot of these 120-day, 90-day lates will disqualify you, especially with it being on an installment loan. But that's definitely a better question for Alicia with her lending background. What do you think, Alicia?
Yeah. So if it's student loan lates that are like over 24 months old, we really don't care about them. So if we're talking about older stuff, we don't care. But if it's in the most recent 24 months, especially the most recent 12 months, that's a big deal. But we're also looking at the last line item. So if we're seeing like 30, 60, 90, 120, and then we see collection, not only is that an issue on the credit report itself, but one thing you guys should know as credit professionals, you might be able to get that off with some magic, right? Let's say you wrote the letter and you got it off and they took it off. That doesn't take it off of CAVERS. CAVERS is a report that we pull. It's a government, kind of almost like a government credit report, if you will. Okay. It lets us know if you have any defaulted debt with the government, whether that's student loan debt or whatever that might be. If you have defaulted CAVERS, we have to fix the defaulted CAVERS before we can move forward in the loan process. So that's why I said in the beginning, if we're going to be working on getting that 90-day late off, the 120-day late off, we first need to have the client call the student loan department to get everything back on track. Because even if I were to get that off and they continue to be in default and they didn't fix that, now I got a defaulted CAVERS, they can't buy a home, right? So it's kind of the same kind of concept if we think about as credit repair organizations and we get a negative thing off of someone's credit report, right? Let's say it's a charge-off credit card for $5,000. We get off the credit report. Ashley, you know what I'm talking about. We talked about this a couple days ago. $5,000 charge-off credit thing is off your credit report. It doesn't mean you don't owe it. Unless I got a letter from the creditor that says this person doesn't owe this, you owe it. And so what may happen, it happens a lot in my industry, is then I'm pulling a SAGE report and I see a judgment on there. Well, guess what? I can't proceed with a judgment that's not handled in some way, shape, or form. And if we're going to put it on a payment plan, I have to have 3 months history of the payment plan.